Hello, and thanks for joining us for another episode of TomTalks. This episode is a recording of a speaking engagement Jennifer, Nona, and Hope participated in for the Headwaters Center Speakers Series. Learn more about the Headwaters Center and watch more of their Speaker Series episodes through the link in the description.
Hello, and welcome to the Speaker Series for August 19th. We have Nona Shipman here today. She is the Associate Director for One World, One Water. We also have Jennifer Riley Chatwin. She is the co-director of One World, One Water and the Director of Marketing and Social Responsibility at Denver Botanical Gardens. We also have Hope Barlett. She is the University Relations and Sustainability Specialist for One World, One Water. So I will let them take it over from here.
All right. So thank you so much for watching our presentation today. We really kind of started thinking about the future of the OWOW Center a lot lately. We are about to be entering our 10-year anniversary. 2022 is 10 years of OWOW. And so it really just, has made us reflect a lot on kind of where we've come from, where we're going, and what do we want to accomplish. And so throughout this talk, we'll kind of be giving some glimpses into some changes that we've started to notice, some changes that we would like to make in the future, kind of how we feel we are naturally growing with the changing world. I think that we can all agree that in the past 2 years, our lives have changed a lot. I think that's something that has happened to everyone. And, not only has the world changed, but the way that we gather has changed, the way that we work has changed, how we collaborate, engage with one another, all of that has changed. And so how we really feel is, we want to be able to look at the work that we do and figure out how can we better create educational opportunities that are both accessible and experiential to better reach students that we work with, to better reach the communities that we work with, and to better Colorado water. And so with that, we'll get started. We can't really talk about our future if we don't at least acknowledge some of our past. So the OWOW Center, as we like to call it, was launched in 2012 at Metropolitan State University of Denver. We are pretty unique in that everything that we offer is completely interdisciplinary. So we work obviously a lot with university students, and all of the academic programs that we offer are completely interdisciplinary. So the water studies minor, certificate, and the online certificate. So regardless of what you're studying, you can enroll in our academic programs and learn about water. You don't have to be an engineer. You don't have to be an environmental scientist. We have a lot of students that we work with that are from all reaches of the university, from theater to journalism to criminal justice and accounting. And then we also get to work with a lot of students that are studying science as well. So it's really kind of a fun and creative environment to work in, because there's students that are bringing new things to the table all the time and figuring out how does water influence the work that they want to do, or the work they're currently doing, or how does water influence their future career paths. So there's definitely a lot of creative problem solving that's going on, and some really good idea sharing. Our target audiences at the OWOW Center are students, communities, specifically urban communities in Denver, and then faculty. And when we say students, we really do mean university students at MSU Denver, but we truly do collaborate a lot with so many other universities that I also like to think that it's students everywhere, regardless of whether you are higher education or not. I think probably, honestly, all of us are a little bit of a student. We all like to learn and engage. And so, definitely leaning into the education for all people. So these are our mission and objectives at the OWOW Center. And I certainly will not read through all of that. Feel free to read it as I talk. But this was created back in 2012 when the OWOW Center was originally launched. And while I think it does a really great job to capture kind of what our core intentions are, I think it definitely leaves a lot of opportunity for growth in the work that we do and some interpretation. And one of those things one of the interpretations that we were allowed to take was when we established a partnership with the Denver Botanic Gardens in 2017. And so with that partnership, we're able to expand the reach and breadth of educational programs on water and environmental issues, attract funding for joint research in these areas, and raise awareness of water and the environment through collaborative water stewardship. Some of the direct items to come out of this partnership with DBG has been internships for students, faculty research. We have co-led study abroad trips that Jennifer's going to get into soon. We have lots of partnerships that we're developing on. We've worked with groups not only internationally, but also in DC. It's really kind of a mixed bag of different work, but at the end of the day, it's all about this partnership that we have together and how we can best use our individual skills to collaborate and bring great resources and opportunity to the audiences that we work with. And with that, I'll hand it over to Jennifer.
Like this is my first rodeo. Anyway, so thanks Nona for the background information on OWOW and discussing the relationship between Denver Botanic Gardens and Metropolitan State University of Denver in co-managing this program. There are so many great things that each institution brings to this relationship, but what has really been kind of a game changer is our opportunity to inject food and food challenges into conversations of water. Denver Botanic Gardens has multiple sites around Colorado, but our two primary sites are an urban location in downtown Denver, and then an agricultural location, 700 acres. Not all of those are agricultural, but we do have an active farm that practices regenerative farming and really has a commitment to water efficiency and organic practices. So some of the programs that we run there, we found are easily replicable in other urban farming environments around the world, especially in developing world situations where reliable water sources are not always a given. So it all started with this joining of forces in 2017. And then soon thereafter in 2018, we started a study abroad program in Italy. Students would spend 2 weeks in Rome and then most of that time in Perugia with the Università per Stranieri di Perugia, which is a mouthful, but it's basically the University of Foreigners of Perugia, whose water studies program there, WARADUC, also houses the UNESCO World Water Assessment Program. So this presented opportunities for us to do combined conferences, bring together speakers to benefit the students and their experiences traveling abroad, learning about comparative water studies in Italy and the EU versus Colorado in the United States. So we've convened conferences in partnership with the university and with UNESCO World Water Assessment Program, but it also created opportunities for us to reach out in that region. There are so many sustainable development organizations based in Rome. One key one is the Food and Ag Organization of the UN. So we've also worked with them, and we're a partner in their global framework on water scarcity and agriculture, which presents opportunities for us to share best practices here in Colorado and see how those apply in a developing world urban situation. And so that whole saying of think globally, act locally really does come back full circle. We bring students back from these experiences, liaising with UN, UNESCO representatives, professors in the Italian water studies program there, having all of these experiences and coming back, and that really has broadened their horizons and enables them to have an even more significant impact here in Colorado. It also enables us as partner organizations, Denver Botanic Gardens and MSU Denver, OWOW, to really raise the bar on what we're able to contribute here locally. one example that has borne fruit out of that kind of circular think globally, act locally approach is a relationship with the Department of Ag here in Colorado. They are really making an effort to work with farmers to raise organic soil content. And that's something that is really core to what we do at Denver Botanic Gardens, Chatfield Farms, our agricultural site. So we're working right in our backyard with the Department of Ag here in Colorado, but trying to do the same thing, share best practices in water-wise urban farming. So that's one example, and we can come back to some other international opportunities that this is presented toward the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Jennifer, for introducing those partnerships to everybody. So one of the really good things that have come from our partners in Italy is story maps. And so story maps is an ArcGIS application. Basically, it's a map application, but it's more than just a map. It's user friendly, it's interactive, and basically it's a story authoring web-based application that allows people to share maps in the context of narratives and storytelling with other multimedia content. This has enabled us to really harness the power of maps and geography to tell stories. So the OWOW Center has worked with our partners in Italy, and now we're able to offer story map creation services to our community partners, to departments on campus, to students who want to do a capstone project. And really this allows us to be storytellers, to connect with target audiences with more personal and experiential ways. And it creates a deeper learning of the subject content. So that has been super exciting to come from Italy. And basically, like it says on the slide, it enables us to harness the power of maps to tell stories. One of the maps that we have just recently created was for our annual Watershed Summit. Every year we host a summit at the Denver Botanic Gardens for water professionals, students, faculty, who are interested in water, community members who are interested in water. And this year was a bit different. So we decided to host a little bit, a smaller in-person event with a virtual component. And so we created a virtual watershed as a story map. And this just kind of shows a little bit of the options that you can have in a story map. We created a map of all of the watersheds in Colorado. And then we collected content from a bunch of different places around Colorado. So you can see we have videos from the Headwaters River journey, and obviously that's in Winter Park. So it pinpointed in Winter Park. And as you scroll down, we travel to different parts in different watersheds around the state. And this just shows the abilities that you have working in story maps of how you can use maps, but you can also tell stories alongside it. So it's really great content, really interactive, and really kind of fun to look at. You can go back to the slides. And so not only have we done the virtual watershed for our water summits, we have also done a few other story maps through the center. So our co-director, Tom Check, has created several about Italy. So you can see them on our website. Some of them are about wells, vineyards, and of course, pasta and pastries, because we can't talk about Italy without talking about those wonderful things. So please, I encourage you all to check those out on our website. It's just msudenver.edu/OWOW or One World One Water and then /story maps. And this really shows how our partnerships can be interactive. So we have those from Italy, and then we've also worked with Right Water Engineers, and we created a public awareness campaign on Lowhead Dam safety. And this has been a really successful story map. We have
we have it on our website, Right Water Engineers has it on their website, and then they're also doing a lot of public outreach. So sending it to places where there are a ton of low head dams. And if you get a chance, I encourage you guys to look at this. It shows the maps of in Colorado of where low head dams are located, talks about the safety around them, and then what you can do to avoid the risks surrounding them. So that being said, we're really looking forward to creating more impactful story maps with community partners. So if you have any questions or want to connect with us about creating a story map, if you have ideas, please let us know. We have a contact slide at the end of this presentation, and we'd love to hear from you with ideas.
Thank you so much, Hope and Jennifer. I think that the story maps are such a great example of how these partnerships that we've been able to develop with the Denver Botanic Gardens and now our international partners, specifically in Italy and at Unistrap and Waraduck, have influenced the work that we're able to do here. And especially now in this time of COVID, or post-COVID or wherever we are right now, that people are still working remotely, they're still traveling, people are receiving information differently. And so being able to take advantage and capitalize on some of these online resources like the ArcGIS story map software is so important. And I think it's really cool that our partners in Italy were first able to introduce this to us. And now we have this capability to create these really engaging learning opportunities for the people that we work with, and especially on cool stuff like food in Italy, and then on important things like low head dam safety. We've talked about kind of where we've been, projects that we've worked on, things that we're really excited about doing in the coming future. And we're going to kind of now go into what does our current university, our current landscape look like? And then what are some of the things that we are creating to try and reach some of our goals? And then what are some of those future goals?
Yeah, so I am going to talk a little bit about our demographics in comparison to our to MSU, who we are housed under. We're under the umbrella of MSU Denver. So MSU Denver has 17,000 undergraduates. 53% of those are female, 57 are first generation, and 48% of that population are students of color. One of the really amazing things that MSU Denver is, and we're so very proud of to be a part of, is that we're a Hispanic serving institution, which means that we have a ton of grant and scholarship opportunities that a lot of other universities don't get the chance to offer. So that being said, we really value our diversity. So looking a little bit closer at OWOW demographics, we have 25 active students, and I know that doesn't sound large, but we are small and mighty. And 25 is a great number. We're very proud to have 25 active students. So that is 25 students in our certificate and our minor programs. We're on par with the 52% of our population is female. However, only 18% of our OWOW students are Hispanic and only 49% are first generation. So what this tells us is part of our next decade, as we begin to celebrate our 10-year anniversary, one of the goals that we have is target marketing strategies of how we can get on par with what the university demographics look like. How can we grow our first generation and our Hispanic and our students of color? Because one of the things that we really value at the OWOW Center is that we do diversify the water community. And we're really looking forward to focusing on that piece of what we already offer and just kind of growing into that a little bit more, and really mirroring the MSU Denver demographics in our little center. So we're really looking forward to continuing to diversify the water community.
So as Hope mentioned, we are a Hispanic serving institution. And that designation comes about by having at least 25% of your student body be of Hispanic origin. So in Colorado, the majority Hispanic population is Mexican or Mexican American. So obviously our connection to Mexico is a very significant one. in water terms, it's even just as much, if not more significant. We are the source of the Colorado River, which winds its way through 7 US states and then should make it to the Sea of Cortez in Mexico, traveling through Sonora. This has not reliably been the case since the construction of the Morelos Dam. You can see this picture. A group of us is in San Luis Rio, Colorado, which is a town just across from Yuma, Arizona, in Sonora, Mexico. And that's where Morelos Dam blocks the Colorado River from entering to take its natural progression to the Sea of Cortez. It's not just the dam that is preventing this flow, it's low water levels. And obviously, this is what is making the news this week, the call on the Colorado River, and the fact that water supplies are so diminished right now that it's as dire as it's ever been. But there are some bits of good news, and we'd like to share one of them. Through our work with OWOW and Denver Botanic Gardens, MSU Denver, we have started, we've participated in a source to sea vision, trying to stimulate more collaboration in the management of the Colorado River, not only on this side of the border, but on the Mexican side of the border. So one manifestation of that has been some exchange programs between Colorado and San Luis Rio, Colorado, to improve awareness and collaboration, and eventually have some knowledge transfer in water management that would also include the design and development of a water-wise botanic gardens there to educate people on water efficient plant selection, water efficient agriculture to a certain extent. There's also some technology sharing that is going on at a binational government level about investment of US funds in Mexican infrastructure and technologies. There's also some government arrangements that will allow more water that would make its way into Mexico to be stored in Lake Mead, which is in dire need of keeping its water levels up, so that some of these efficiency measures can reduce the need on the Mexican side of the border, but also the storage ability on the US side in Lake Mead can enable Mexico to save the water and then withdraw it when it's needed. So this presents opportunities for students, faculty, gardens staff, and horticulturists, agricultural specialists to participate in this binational cooperation, and eventually it will lead to some student exchange programs. We're currently talking with several Mexican universities, one a little further south in Monterrey, about establishing exchange programs that bring students from Mexico here and our students to Mexico. And then this would be another layer to our Italian study abroad that we talked about earlier. We also are in talks to create a similar program in Australia. Australia, as you know, has been enduring a prolonged drought for decades now, and as a result has developed many, really advanced water efficiency technologies and practices. So this international outreach, whether it is horticultural or agricultural or engineering or journalistic, or it creates so many different opportunities for our interdisciplinary water minor and water certificate students to compare and contrast how we're managing things in the United States and specifically in Colorado, and how other countries and cities are managing this scarce resource. So this all falls under what we are calling GoWow. We love our acronym, the One World, One Water Center, OWOW. So why not add G in front of it for global, GoWow. So we've been running the study abroad program in Italy for 3 years now. We've started, in addition to the student program, a professionals program. And the professionals, from water utilities here in Denver and from the Front Range, participate and then donate part of their fee to support scholarships for students. We also have others, regardless of whether they participated in a study or in a trip to Italy or elsewhere, who still make a contribution to the scholarship fund. So that's a priority for us to grow this Go Wow scholarship fund so that we can support more students participating in this international travel. Because the problems we face are not so different, just because you cross a border. So we're really excited about that. And as Hope said, all of our contact information is at the end of this. And if anyone has any questions or would like to learn more about international study abroad scholarships, please get in touch.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I would just like to add that the Go Wow scholarship will also primarily be available for first generation students. We feel like that's a really important priority. And within some agreements we've had with people who've supported the Go Wow program, they specifically are really eager to support first generation students. So it's something we feel very honored to be able to take on and to be able to provide those opportunities. One other thing that we wanted to mention in regards to creating accessible education is our online certificate. Primarily it is for professionals, but really it's available for anyone who's just interested in learning more about water. And some benefits to it are that it's really affordable. It is non-accredited, so it is more affordable than taking accredited college courses, but the courses are designed and taught by the same faculty who teach the accredited courses at MSU Denver. So you're getting a lot of the same information. It's just kind of packaged in a more accessible way. And one of those being that it's self-paced. You do have to finish the courses within one semester, but you're not, tied to logging into your computer at Tuesday at noon every single day. They're far more self-paced, and you can kind of do them as quick or as slow as you'd like within a semester. And then the information within the courses is really applicable. We've had professionals from law firms, from engineering firms. We've had professionals from water utilities. We've had professionals that don't have a job in water at all and they just want to learn more, participate in the online certificate, and then they're able to apply this knowledge that they've learned. So it's a really great program. And it's something that, again, we feel very honored to be able to offer to people to create more accessible education for people and really meeting people where they are. And so we're going to be wrapping up soon, but we did put together some future goals. We actually recently had a retreat. The four of us got together. That picture is actually from yesterday. Our retreat was yesterday and we really accomplished a lot. And I feel like we hit the ground running. We feel really excited and motivated by a lot of the stuff we talked about. And so some of the things we talked about are future goals that we have. And I think that they really align well with the things that we've discussed today. We want to develop accessible and experiential educational opportunities to drive water stewardship in Colorado. We want to amplify diversity within the water community. We feel like we have this unique opportunity to amplify diversity and to amplify diverse voices within the water community. And we feel really honored and privileged to be able to do that. We want to engage students and communities in local, state, national, and obviously international water resources. We learn so much from the communities around us and the communities abroad. It only makes sense to be able to take that information and apply it here. And then finally, we want to create intentional pathways for all people to educate themselves on the environment, to advocate on behalf of the environment, and to engage with the environment regardless of their background, interests, academic degree, career, etc. And all of that really goes in line with our interdisciplinary nature and how, at the top of this presentation, I mentioned that all of our programs are interdisciplinary and we work with students across the board at MSU Denver. And so really that last point gets at the heart of that being interdisciplinary is such a strong theme to what we do, because we want to make sure that everyone knows that there is a place for them within the environmental community, that you don't have to be an engineer or a biologist to care about the environment and want to advocate on behalf of it, that there is a place for everyone here. And you can learn and engage and do all the things you want to do. And so here's that contact information we've mentioned a few times. There's Jennifer, myself, and Hope. You can also visit our website. We actually just revamped our website too, so hopefully you all enjoy it and think it looks really nice. And then social media as well. We, during COVID, have really boosted our social media. We've kind of rebranded ourselves on social media. And once a week, we put out educational information, either in the form of just written content, or we create short videos called TomTalks that touch on a lot of different aspects of water resources in Colorado or the nation in general. And we try and bring in experts as well. And some of them are really fun. Some of them are, movie reviews or, places that we've taken our dogs hiking that we think are really interesting. And they're all really educational and fun. So I encourage everyone to check them out. And that is all we've got. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for coming as well. We have more information on our lovely hosts today on our website. So if anyone has questions later on, there's more information about what you guys do on WOW. But we also thank you for those slides too. So hope everyone had an enjoyable experience as I did and learned a lot. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.